A very good afternoon, all of you. Welcome to Super Coaching UPSC by Textbook. So, students, as you all know that I'm doing about previous year question sessions on every topic of geography for the last more than 25 years. I mean, whatever the questions have been asked in geography in the last 25 years as such, all topics at one place I'm discussing with respect to that particular thing, divisions, so that you will be helpful for your UPSC preparation. So every Friday, I'm doing this previous year questions topic wise. And last session, I have done it on climatology. Because climatology happens to be a very big chapter as such, the number of questions are usually higher. So such questions, we are doing that part 2 of that without much wastage of time. Such previous year questions, in terms of conceptual clarity and the nature of the questions, they are always very useful for our preparation. So let us do such kind of topics now. So let us start with the questions. Now this is one such questions about cyclones, which is a very conflictory topic as such, or conflictory question as such on the topic of cyclones. Let us discuss about this question in detail. Right. What is the answer for this question? Right. So in the South Atlantic and Southeastern Pacific regions, in the tropical latitude, cyclones does not originate. What is the reason? What is the reason? So usually when you see cyclones, they are not part of the Southern Atlantic or Southeastern Pacific as such. There are no cyclones. What is the reason? That is the question. Yes, Gayatri, it's not A. It's not A. Others, try to answer it. What could be the reason? Yes, Sushma, good afternoon. Is it A is the answer for this? Sushma Singh, what is the answer for this? So if you see, generally, what are the ideal climatic conditions needed for a cyclone? When you talk about ideal conditions of a cyclone, the first major ideal condition which is definitely needed for a cyclone is large sea surface temperatures of 26.5 degrees Celsius or more. So it can be 27, 26.5, whatever. So you need a decent amount of water. That's why they are called as tropical cyclone. The word tropical talks about heat. So there is a sea surface temperatures of more heat which is needed. Then you need around a good Coriolis force to rotate it. You need around good, the vertical wind systems should not be there, right? So wind speeds, vertical wind speeds vertically among the area should be minimum. For example, when monsoons are very dominant in the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal, you don't find the cyclones being developed because cyclone is a tertiary system. So for example, here there is imagine this, the entire screen is one big ocean. Within that there was a small cyclone which developed here. Now when there is another monsoonal wind, which is another wind system like monsoons mixing with this, the cyclone would not be developed. The air would be mixing, right? So definitely you need to have wind speeds and all such kind of things. And also we need around moisture which provides the latent heat. Now when you apply this point towards these regions, you see that sea surface temperatures are low, could be one of the possible reason. Absence of Coriolis force is too weak, could be one of the possible reason. Intertropical convergence zone rarely occurs, maybe it seems negative way. Absence of land in those areas, which implies about pressure and thereby the differences in terms of wind speeds. It looks all the options are right, but actually when you apply here, the correct answer is intertropical convergence zone rarely occurs. So what is this ITCZ is? ITCZ is a zone of low pressure. Because of the distributions of land and water in the southern part of this, especially the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean, which are mightier water bodies, you do find that here the ITCZ rarely occurs here south of this. You can see here ITCZ is absent here. There is no ITCZ. And here see ITCZ is somewhat maybe in January, but usually it is absent in generally throughout the entire year except in January. So these regions, because ITCZ is not available, low pressure is not available, because of that cyclones are not developing significantly. In general, yes, sea surface temperatures are also low, but they are not that low where that cyclone cannot be developed. So the reason is, it is the lack of the broader low pressure area, the mixing of the trade winds and all. It is not beyond the equator here. So the ITCZ here, as you can see, doesn't go much south. You see here in the north, to what extent it is moving in July ITCZ, it is moving even to the regions of northern plains of India. So in April, May, ITCZ will be located here. In October, November, ITCZ will be located here. Ideal conditions for cyclone development. So that's the reason why Arabian Sea will get decent amount of cyclones. Bay of Bengal has decent amount of cyclones. One of the reason is this. So it is that ITCZ rarely occurs is the reason why the cyclone is not able to develop. Coriolis force is generally absent at the equator everywhere across the globe, nothing to do with this. So this is also ruled out. An absence of land in these regions is not a substantial factor as such, but the confusion between is A and B. Among A and B, the right answer is B. For example, what if they ask you 1, 2, 3, 4 and ask 1 only, 1 and 2 only? Then the answer would be surface temperatures are low as well as ITCZ rarely occurs. But because of only one option which we need to choose among these two, the most probable answer is B. But some geographers also say that A is the probable answer. So that's where there is a conflict. But UPSC said answer is B. In general, there is a large acceptance among the geographers as well that B is the answer. So difficult question, that's why I'm elaborating. Have you understood, all of you? Shall I move forward? Gayatri, all good? Sushma, all good? Shall I move forward? Yes, Gayatri, yeah, sure. Moving forward. Next question. Right, try to answer this question. Put it down in the comment section here. Put it down in the comment section about what you can answer for this. Ishfaq. Hi Ishfaq, what is the answer for this question? So if you see for a cyclone, the surface winds spiral inwards upon the center of the cyclone. That's the statement. Yes, we do know that surface winds spiral inwards. Air descends in the center of the cyclone. What is the explanation? What is the answer? What is the answer for this? So if you see, the right answer should be both statements are true, but R is not a correct explanation of A. So the right answer is A. Let me explain this. The surface winds spiral winds upon the center of the earth. Now, center of a cyclone. Now imagine this is the surface of the ocean. This is where you will find a cyclone being developed. The winds are entering towards the center, right? This is the eye of the storm, right? When the winds enter, usually because of high temperature, this is a low pressure. So when there is low pressure here, the winds enter. So the reason why the winds are entering into the center is because of the differences of pressure over here, which is high pressure, and this is low pressure. This is what you call it as pressure gradient force. And also, the pressure gradient force will make the wind systems to move into the center, and then the Coriolis force will make them to rotate. So if you have a cross-sectional another point of view, this is the low pressure. For example, 940 millibars, 960 millibars, 980 millibars. If you have a low pressure in this way, right? So what happens is there is a pressure gradient developed from the outside towards the interior. So the wind center. Because of Coriolis force, these winds will rotate, will deflect, and then it will spiral. So the winds are spiraling here, and then it will develop into a one big system of a cyclone. This would be the one system of a cyclone. So when you see that the winds are supposed to enter like this, but what do? They deviate and deflect like this. So what is happening? Because of Coriolis force, they deflect towards their left, right? So deflect towards the right in the northern hemisphere and left in the southern hemisphere. As they deflect, you do find that their destination is the low pressure, but in the process they deflect. Because of that, they get an anti-clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere. The reason why they spiral, why do you think that they are spiraling? The spiraling is because of the Coriolis force and the pressure gradient force. Primarily the Coriolis and then the pressure gradient force. When a huge amount of air is rising, a part of air will descend into the low pressure area from the upper part, but it will not go to the ground level as such. Maybe up to a certain parts in the upper atmosphere, you do find that air is descending down. So with this, the right answer is what? The right answer is both A statements are right. Air descends in the center of the cyclone, but not completely, partly. So this is also right. So both A and R are true, and R is not a correct explanation. The reason why they are descending is because of Coriolis force and pressure gradient force. Right. Shall I move forward? Have you understood this? Sushma, Ishfaq, Gayatri, all good? Shall I move forward to the next question? I'll not be asking this question for every question, no. It is because of the difficulty nature of the question I am asking this. Shall I move forward? Okay, that's good. The next question. Yeah, if you see this question, cyclones spin clockwise in the northern hemisphere, anti-clockwise in the southern hemisphere. That statement itself is wrong, no? Cyclones spin clockwise in southern hemisphere, or rather they spin anti-clockwise in southern hemisphere, in northern hemisphere, and clockwise in northern hemisphere. So this is wrong, this is wrong, right? So with that, the statement is wrong. A is wrong. A and R are true in all the things except D. The right answer is this. And if you talk about the deflection, why do they differ? The directions of wind patterns in the northern and southern hemisphere are governed by the Coriolis force. Yes, this is right. So it is anti-clockwise in northern hemisphere, clockwise in southern hemisphere. Because of this, the statement would D is the right answer. So it's a easy question. Let us move forward to the next question. Yes. Try to answer this. Now you see, until now, beat around the questions you have discussed and this question, look at the easy toughness. Willy Willy is a tropical cyclone of the northwest Australia. Yes, it is a easy question. Compare this. It is a difficult question. The probability of even a topper getting it right is minimum. Whereas the probability of a topper getting it right in other questions is a fair chance. So this is the thing. Fair chance, right? So here the probability of getting a topper is also minimum. Maybe some might get it right, but they also would be confusing. Whereas here, the probability of a topper getting right is huge. Is huge. You cannot say that any kind of a qualifier who qualifies for the prelims exam, they cannot get such questions wrong. So definitely this is a very, very easy question. You know, Australia, we'll call it as Willy Willies. You will say that in Philippines, we will call it as what do you call it as in Philippines? We'll call it as typhoons, South China Sea. In the regions of India, we generally call cyclones. In USA and the Caribbean Sea, we call it as hurricanes. The same tropical cyclone phenomena. This is a very easy question. Move forward to the next question. Which one of the following weather conditions is indicated by a sudden fall in the barometric reading? That means what? Sudden fall in barometer means what? Pressure becomes low. When? When does a barometer will tell about that? Right? Right? When it is Ishfaq. Hey, you might got it this question when you talk about this question. Willy Willy is a tropical cyclone of the northwest Australia. It is not easy for you. Maybe today it is not easy, but on the day of the exam, as you prepare, you would be learning. I'm not bothered about today's knowledge alone. It's about how well your knowledge should be there on the day of the exam is what my prerogative is. Okay, Ishfaq? We all, every one of us, will not be having everything would be known to us since day one. We'll be learning over a period of time. As you learn, you'll get to know about multiple things. Okay. So today, you are not knowing. This is the process of learning. Right. So when you talk about this question, weather conditions is indicated by sudden fall in barometer reading. The answer should be what? Calm weather. Yes, it is calm weather or stormy, cold and dry weather, hot and sunny. So when pressure is low, so when there is a low pressure, sudden fall in barometric pressure means winds will start entering into it. If there is a possibility of more heat, there is also convection. When there is convection, you have an opportunity of rainfall and all such things. So whenever there is a sudden fall of barometric pressure, pressure is low, it means stormy. The right answer is stormy. When there is calm weather, it indicates high pressure conditions, which is an indicator of cold and dry weather. Right? So, on a hot and a sunny weather, slowly over a period of time, because of the hotness, there would be a low pressure area where the air would be rising as part of convection. Then winds enter. That is what you call it as a sudden fall, which will lead to stormy conditions. So, right, that is stormy. So as you can see here, low pressure converging air, air rising, it is what we call it as a cyclonic condition as such. Don't go for tropical cyclones. It is also a similar phenomena. Such condition is what we call it as cyclonic conditions. Whenever they have clear skies, not much amount of air as such, you find this as anticyclone, clear skies, more sunlight. Say for example in the winter, it is not like more heat. Sunlight is visible but not heat. So anticyclonic conditions, high pressure on the ground. Say most of the regions in India in the winter, this is a time where you don't find any kind of any kind of rainfall. No, this is the time where you have high pressure conditions on the ground level. Cyclonic conditions on the ground level is a time in the summer or in the monsoon season. So the right answer is A, stormy weather, right? Sudden fall in barometer means indicator that it is stormy, it is rainfall is about to occur, cyclone might hit us, such kind of things. Remember this thing which you also studied here? When I talk about cyclone, low pressure, look at what did I write here, 940 millibars, 960 millibars, 980 millibars. That is barometric means barometric is falling, indicates that it is a cyclonic condition, right? So simply remember, low pressure conditions, opportunity of atmospheric instability. This is where you will find all the disturbances of atmosphere. Whereas anticyclonic high pressure conditions, it is stable atmosphere like winters of India. Generally the winters of India, except the few areas of the Himalayas, you do find they are very, very clear, pleasant sky, not much of a rainfall. So that is the thing. So that is the difference. Hope you all have understood this question. Shall I move forward? Right. Then you see this question. This is a very interesting question. Right. Yes, Ishfaq, hopefully believe in the process, work hard, and let's see how do you grow in the life. Have you ever seen this sun's halo? Any one of you? Have you ever seen this one? Sun's halo? Sun's halo, which is produced by the refraction of the light, is because of the ice crystals in cirrus clouds. You know what is sun's halo? Something like a rainbow across the sun. You can see here, this is what we call it as sun's halo. Occasionally, under some specialized circumstances, you do find sun's halo which can be witnessed. You know what is that? It is because of sun's halo. When you find the cirrus clouds, which are the high altitude clouds, refract the ice crystals which are part of the high altitude of almost around 20,000 feet, when they react with the sunlight, you find that the halo of thing can be found, which is called as sun's halo. So what is sun's halo? The ice crystals which are in the high altitude clouds refract the sunlight, then you can see a halo around the sun, something like a rainbow around the sun. That's what we call it as sun's halo, and it's produced of ice crystals which are there in the cirrus clouds, refract the sunlight. This is a very, very unique concept, right? Sun's halo. The next question. This should be very easy. Yes, this is an easy question. The sun's halo, maybe unless and until you are aware, you cannot answer. I would consider this as a difficult question. Very few people can answer. Very, very few people. So it doesn't have a significant impact on your, in the total marks, even though if you leave this question. If you don't know, if you attempt and get it wrong, then there is a problem. Right. Right. Okay, Ishfaq, you are from Kashmir. That's good. For short-term climatic predictions, which one of the following events detected in the last decade is associated with occasional weak monsoonal rains in the Indian subcontinent? Occasional weak monsoon rains in the Indian subcontinent. So what is the thing? Even now, we can discuss this year as well. El Nino, the southern oscillation, the event of El Nino having an impact of monsoon, it is about the short-term climatic predictions of the things. El Nino, La Nina is associated with more amount of rainfall. El Nino is less amount of monsoon season. So it's almost in news for n number of times. It has huge linkage with respect to our monsoon, very much frequently covered in the news, right? Let's move to the next question. Right. Now this would be a difficult question, right? Yes, any comments here? Gayatri, Ishfaq? Right. Now if you see this, this is a very question which you can study as part of the climatic regions. In equatorial regions, what will happen? In equatorial regions, the year is divided into 4 main seasons. Is it so? No. Equatorial regions is known for no seasons. There is no season. Every day is one and the same. Every day is same throughout the year. That is the characteristics. One is a very easy statement which you should be avoiding. If you avoid automatically the first statement, you are getting the answer as D. This is the right answer. Very, very easy question. Because as you study climatic regions, you will get to know that equator is known for such areas where every day you will have more heat, hot, and because of that rainfall in the afternoons, and that's why reason is called as what? Hot, wet equatorial region. Once again, today you might not be knowing, people who are not knowing, this is a very basic fundamental geographical question, which I expect you know as you prepare. And on the day of the exam, you should not miss such kind of questions is what my objective of learning, making you to learn previous year questions. And in the Mediterranean region, summer monsoons receive more rain is also a blunder. Mediterranean region is known for what? Wet winters and dry summers. Wet winters and dry summers. In China type climate, rainfall occurs throughout the year. Yes, they also call it as temperature monsoons, or it is a pseudo monsoon as such, right? Then tropical highlands exhibit vertical zonation of different climates. Yes, the tropical highlands exhibit vertical zonation of different climates because of the highlands. The surface, the ground level regions would be very different from the plateaus and all such kind of things. Plains are different from the plateaus. Say you can have a significant difference of temperature between the cities of Karnataka and Chennai, though both are located in the same latitude, because plateau is in a Bengaluru and Chennai. Chennai coastal area, plain. Bengaluru, it is part of the Karnataka plateau with a elevation. Similarly, one such place in the central part, Ranchi, is also a plateau region where temperatures are usually cooler than the surroundings. Right. Okay. With this, the right answer is D. Let us move forward to the next question now. Right. आशी, हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूं, हिंदी में एक्सप्लेन भी कर सकता हूं, लेकिन मेरा मकसद यहाँ पर इंग्लिश कैटेगरी स्टूडेंट्स के साथ भी है. ओके, सो वी विल ट्राई टू डू दैट बोथ. ठीक है, हिंदी में भी एक्सप्लेन करूंगा मैं. नाउ यू सी, ए ज्योग्राफिकल रीजन हैज द फॉलोइंग डिस्टिंक्ट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स. ऐसा कौन सा ज्योग्राफिकल रीजन है जहां पर हमको ये क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशंस मिलेगा? जहां पर वार्म कंडीशंस है, ड्राई क्लाइमेट है, सूखा है, राइट, माइल्ड एंड वेट विंटर्स, एवरग्रीन ओक ट्रीज। अभी अभी हम प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन में हम लोग ये देखे थे, मेडिटेरियन रीजन को वेट विंटर्स और ड्राई समर्स कहलाता है। तो इसका मतलब क्या है? द सेम थिंग which is repeated here. It is about, when you prepare about previous year questions, there is always an example of repetition. When you get about repetition, you will see about warm and dry climate as well as mild and wet winters, which is part of the Mediterranean region. The right answer is Mediterranean. Right. Okay, clear? Right. Move forward to the next question. See, when you talk about climatic regions, remember every climatic region is about having one characteristic feature. That characteristic feature is what you need to remember. ठीक है? हर region का there is one characteristic feature. अपना खासियत है हर रीजन। इक्वेटोरियल रीजन खासियत क्या है? सीजन ही रहता नहीं है। मेडिटेरियन रीजन ड्राई समर्स वेट विंटर्स, अपना खासियत है। इसलिए वहां पर विटिकल्चर, the things like grapes are found because they need the time for ripening of the fruits, right? Then which one of the following is the characteristic climate of the tropical savanna region? Tropical savanna region. So this is a अपना यहाँ पर characteristic है wildlife. Okay, characteristic feature wildlife है. The safaris, the rich wildlife which are taught about the tropical grasslands. अभी grasslands क्यों है? Because there is a definite dry season and a wet season. There is more dryness, right? So because of that, you find that they are having grasses. Grass क्यों है? Evergreen क्यों है? ज्यादा रेनफॉल है, हर दिन रेनफॉल है। एवरग्रीन से यहाँ पर ग्रासेस तक क्यों आ चुके हैं? बिकॉज यहाँ पर बारिश कम है। That's rainfall is less. That's where you find definite dry and wet season. Yes. So it is dry and wet season. Answer is D. रेनफॉल थ्रू आउट द ईयर अगर हो गया तो फिर ग्रासलैंड्स क्यों रहेंगे? बारिश ज्यादा हो गया तो फिर देन यू विल फाइंड द टिपिकल वेजिटेशन, the typical vegetation of more trees and all, canopy vegetation of the equatorial regions which you find. Then ये थोड़ा difficult question है, try to answer. This can be a difficult question. Right. So if you see this question, climate is extreme. Scanty rainfall. Nomadic herders. The two of the past. Now you see, almost all the things, prairies, steppes, climate is extreme. Siberian tundra, continental, जहां पर हमको extreme temperatures are very low in the winter. This is also right. African savanna, maybe the tropical, here also climate extreme, maybe, we don't know. Scanty rainfall, in fact, all of them are known for scanty rainfall. The thing about is nomadic herders. Nomadic herders मतलब क्या है? People used to move from one place to another as part of the agriculture and all along with their cattle. Nomadic means moving, यहाँ पर से वहाँ, वहाँ से यहाँ. जैसे कश्मीर में गुज्जर्स and बाखरवालास, right? They frequently shift from the plains towards the top of the mountains between summer and winter. The same way it is also there, right? So you find that here African savanna, you do find that there are not much kind of people who are known for nomadic herders. That too used to be, not now. So it is the Mongolians which are actually ones, it is Central Asian steppe. This is the right answer, where the Mongolians used to be the nomadic herders in the past, along with the, what do you say, with their horses. So the typical, what do you say, that cowboy culture which you found is found of this region. So this is the thing about, or in general about this temperate grasslands. Within the temperate grasslands, Central Asian steppe, part of the old. Whether you talk about North American prairies and all the other regions, here you do find around nomadic herding is not observed, but remaining things can be observed. So that's why it is a very, very difficult one. Answer is Central Asian steppe. Okay. Let's move to the next question. Right. Each day is more or less the same. यहाँ पर ही समझ में आ जाना चाहिए क्वेश्चन, राइट. Each day is more or less the same. हर दिन सेम है. The morning is clear and bright with a sea breeze. Sun climbs high with respect to the daytime heat in the sky. Heat mounts up. Dark clouds form. Rain comes with thunder and lightning, but soon over. Equatorial climate. 4 p.m., 3 to 4 p.m. rainfall. Out of 365 days in a year, 320 days you have a rainfall every day at afternoons because of this process. That is what we call it as this, right? So this is the thing, equatorial climate, right? So this is the characteristic feature, and you can see the same question you can also get to know if you have practiced this. So UPSC does repeat questions over a period of 20 years. इसलिए 20 to 25 years का previous year questions करना very very important है हमारे लिए UPSC preparation के लिए, because syllabus coverage हो जाएगा, सारे topics भी समझ में आ जाना, सारे topics का depth भी समझ में आएगा, and उसके साथ साथ you will get to know the template of how UPSC asks questions, right? Move forward. Right. So this is about the previous year questions. I have done a same previous year questions of the remaining questions of the climatology in the last Friday. You can go and check my video in the previous year slide. And any doubt you have and all such kind of things, you can always get into my Telegram channel where you can ask me doubts, whatever associated with. Well, Ishfaq, where should we prepare geography for prelims? That is a big question, right? So how to prepare? If you are having poor knowledge about geography, if you are trying to grow and all, I would definitely advise you to go and get the subscription. You can use my code, right? You can get into the subscription. Otherwise, you have to prepare on your own, which takes time, which you might not understand certain things. So basically, get the coaching, or else you can also prepare on your own by doing some basic NCERT stuff and all, right? So until we meet next time, we'll see you again. Have a good time. Hope you all have understood my things. If you want the PDF file of this, you can get into my Telegram channel. And happy learnings, all of you. And any further questions, you can always ask me without any hesitation. Right? Thank you. Have a good time, all of you. Jai Hind. Happy learnings.